niggas and I burn them. Stay twisting, bud, you ain't heard of. Then hit the club and I murder. Shoes, I swear they made one up. Ain't seen your knees a few summers. Yo, chick, she want a newcomer. All day shawty, I do numbers. Yeah, bro, I do numbers. Views, dollars, and hits. Don't compare me to them bums, cause them dudes garbage as shit. They say I'm cocky as a bitch. Just know ain't got it like this. I'm top 5, they gon' pick. And you and I on their list. Call it what you want. See a couple bottles on deck. And a bunch of bras to call next. Plus a hunger squad of y'all flex. But I ain't come for all of that mess. But haters know when it's your turn. From the 804 on no terms. I ain't down to brawl and catch wreck.
Yeah, once again from the great minds and I'm talking about it's 4th and 10. Got the homie and my QB3, Ray. What's up, man?
What's up, man? What's going on, bro?
Same old, same old. Where you from? What's your hood? What's your squad? What you rapping?
Well, Niner Nation, you know, bang, bang. Family originally moved to Ventura County, California. We found our way down here, Virginia, back in the, mid 80s. Of course, refugee baby, due to a war back home in Afghanistan. But yeah, man, VA in California is what I rep.
Okay. Where'd you do your high school ball at?
Here actually in Falls Church and at Arlington. I played ball at what was known as Jeff Stewart High School at the time. Started varsity my sophomore year, but they had me at DB because I was an athlete. Yeah, and still am. I think just good hand-eye coordination and really quick and fast.
Okay.
Started at DB, the only sophomore to start on varsity. We had another guy that played varsity too, but he was an incredible talent. But yeah, and then I transferred my after my sophomore year to go to another school so I can have a shot at playing quarterback. And I went to another county in Arlington, used my uncle's address. Don't tell nobody that. And then I played quarterback for them my junior and senior year on varsity.
Okay.
Yeah, but never really had a chance to go anywhere else because size. But I did a combine my senior year at TC Williams High School, and it was the first time where I was around like some of the best talent in the Northern Virginia area. I couldn't even bench 185. I couldn't squat 185, but I was 10 for 10 on the one-on-one with the DB and the receivers. And a couple of the scouts that were there really liked my ability to throw, but he was like, the kid's just 145 pounds, man. He can throw the ball, but he's just too small. So that was it, man. Just started playing pickup ball after that, really.
Okay. Who put you on the flag? Who brought you out?
Well, we were playing some pickup ball, with friends and whatnot back in the early 2000s. We played at Thomas Jefferson High School, little pickup. Excuse me, what are you doing? Sorry about that. My cat just decides to get in the way. Come on, girl, get out of the way.
Cat for you. That's a cat.
We were playing ball at Thomas Jefferson High School, and this kid, Sam, who played in a flag league in Manassas, saw me, quarterback, and he was like, "Hey, man, you're kind of nice. You ever thought about playing flag?" As I had no idea there was flag. He goes, "Yeah, it's real big." I was like, "I didn't know." So we started playing out in Signal Hill in Manassas, and man, that was a vibe back then. 3 fields. I mean, we're talking about like up to 30 teams on a Sunday playing. Absolutely insane, man. It was just incredible. And we played on grass, and Walt knows about this. I think Walt Newman. I think he played out there, but that's where I got my game started, man. And we started moving out to Maryland, playing out there. That was it until I blew my knee out in 2012.
Really?
ACL, yeah, man. Did the Matrix, went sideways. My knee went the other way. Playing tackle on Thanksgiving. Everyone told me stop playing tackle on Thanksgiving. You're gonna get hurt. I was like, nah. This is what we want. But it's 2012, man. I tore my knee up, and then just kind of was on the sideline for a minute until 2017. I had my knee repaired. By like 2018, my brother was playing in the FXA, playing co-ed. He was like, "Hey, man, you should come out here. You'd kill it out here, man. There's some, I was like, all right, start playing co-ed. And then that transitioned into playing some more pickup ball I met a girl named Rachel. May she rest in peace. She saw me playing co-ed. She invited me to her meetup in Arlington. And from there, I met a guy named Eric Coleman who played on Loud. He's like, hey, we got a men's league in FXA. I was like, oh, there's a men's league in FXA? Oh, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that, because a little older now, whatever. But he's like, yeah, man, listen, you do well. And I got introduced to playing, FXA ball through Eric back in like 20, I think it was like 2020. Yeah, it was 2020, 2021 when I got into men's because I tore my Achilles playing co-ed. Yeah. Knee and Achilles on the same leg. Yeah. That was it. And then the rest is, let me say, history now. I'm here. Still balling, 46, get more gray,
Don't talk to me about great, man. All right, the 10 questions. What's your favorite format?
Definitely eights. But to be honest, I love 9-man. It's just more football, but eights. I really fell in love with eights because eights becomes like an ego check. As a quarterback, you want to try to, dice everything up. You want to try to throw these combinations at your receivers, but then you forget that there's 3 linemen that are eligible too. I hated the spread. Now I really embrace the spread because again, it becomes, it allows a quarterback who's like myself, who I think I'm fairly accurate, allows me to really pinpoint the ball in the little spots where I want. Chase was a big believer in me in the spread. He saw some things that I didn't see in myself, but I started embracing it. But yeah, eights definitely. I love eights. I like 5-man also. That's kind of fun. I'm getting really better at that too.
Okay.
But I would say eights.
All right. Who's the best receiver you've played with and the best DB you've played against?
That's hard, man, because I play with a lot of good receivers, man. Everyone brings something unique to the table. First person that comes to mind, Pat, because Pat is just, his size, his ability to just, run his routes, how he can, get open in certain areas and how he can just, he can just feel space. He's really good at that. His top end speed is great. But again, I love his size. I love bigger wide receivers. Shaq, Shaq from I guess most hated, Brown Shaq.
Yeah.
He's Afghan Shaq. Don't be really claiming it like that. I don't know what's wrong with that dude. But he's incredible. His ball skills and the balls in the air are amazing. Daryl, obviously, I got a lot of good chemistry with Daryl because I played with Daryl when I first started playing flag. He was one of my receivers. There's a lot, but if I had to pick one, it had to be Jay simply because, Yee is just him. Our chemistry is just on a different level.
When they ask it, who that, wanna know how we do it. When they holler, what that?
Tell them Southside, get it shouted.
When they ask it, who that, wanna know how we do it. When they holler, what that?
Tell them Southside, get it shouted.
When they ask it, who that, wanna know how we do it. When they holler, what that?
Tell them Southside, get it shouted.
Inside we get it. Outside we live it. Bet you know the anthem, so tell them Southside did it. When they asking who that, y'all know it's my crew that. Do that how why we lose it. Oh, you rap, I'm a born king.
And he's young too, so he doesn't have any bad habits. All of his habits are good, and his work ethic is similar to mine. He's just gonna outwork you. He might be the smallest guy, but he's gonna outwork you. His ability to attack the ball is great too. But out of those 4, if you had to put a gun in my head, I'd take Jay. Because I just know where he's gonna be when my back foot hits and the ball's got to come out. I know where he's gonna be, and I know he's gonna be there to catch the ball. Yeah.
For a DB, who's a consistent thorn?
Wow. That's tough, man. But
Who you think got the most picks off you in FXA? One player.
there's a lot of amendments in the Constitution, but I like to plead that right there. So we'll go with that. You know, we're not supposed to remember our picks, so
Okay.
but
Okay.
best DB, honestly, man, there's really a lot of good DBs. Newman is really good. He's also a great two-way player too. I've really seen him shine at receiver as well. Nick, he's really good. Obviously, Jay, Yee, he's incredible. Great ball skills, great breaking skills. Daryl's another one, obviously, because he's kind of like sneaky. You know, Daryl's always baiting you into stuff. You know, um, I mean, just really a lot of good DBs, man. But those are the ones that you know, Ozzy's another one. He's good. He gambles a lot. You know, I'm just waiting for him to get back on the field at DB so I can make him pay for the, you know. I haven't forgot about that shit. Yeah. So those guys really, man. I mean, really, there's a lot of good DBs out there. But in flag, Mark, you know, he's special because Mark is like he's like a you know he's just so long and lanky that he
Yeah.
covers so much ground, and he's really really quick for a guy his size. He's incredibly quick. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of those guys out there, man. But again, in flag, it's kind of tough because you know you're kind of forced to play in certain coverages, but there's so much more space. You know, so you can break a guy down by running him off and running somebody into a spot. You know. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Shout out to all the DBs.
Yeah, for sure. What's the difference between confidence in your arm and forcing the throw?
Confidence in my arm and forcing the throw. The difference? Tough question, man. I guess confidence just being, you know, knowing that you could put the ball where it's going to go. And, you know, Thursday night was perfect example. That sideline throw to Jay,
Yeah.
that's a confidence in my arm, but I forced the throw. And it became a six. It became a pit. But as you can see, you know,
So a lot of times, I guess the answer is the results.
yeah, the results really. I mean, if it's good, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
If it's bad, you're like, oh shit. But we did get a safety out of it, so I kind of like manifested that, you know. And we got the ball back when we scored, so that was great, right? But honestly, it's just you know, it's just trying to be really smart with it, you know. So if you have a lot of you know arm talent, which I think I do. I'm okay. I have a decent arm. I don't think I have the strongest arm, but I think I'm really really precise with it, you know. But yeah, man, I think it's just you know knowing that if you can make the throw, make the throw. But sometimes, you know, as you know me, I like to gamble. And when you gamble, the house wins 70% of the time. And I'm not the house. I just mortgage my kids' tuition. You know?
What's the most underrated skill a QB needs to have in flag football?
Underrated?
Yeah.
Arm talent.
Arm talent?
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's arm talent. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys that can just throw the ball, right? You don't have to have a great arm. It helps. I think you have to have really just have a mind of it and just composure. I think it's really arm talent, to be honest, because I went to Tampa in Nationals and I saw the French quarterback. And I can tell you, you can throw better than him. But just the way he was maneuvering, throwing some of the stuff, and no knock on you. I'm just saying, we warm up, you know. No knock on you. But like when you saw this dude play, you were just like, what the? How is he throwing? But he was just moving around and just getting the ball out quick. I would say arm talent. And I mean, some people may disagree, but if we really evaluate it, it really is arm talent. It's having the mental capability of doing it, you know.
Okay. Which one feels better? A blowout win, a comeback win, or an ugly dogfight W?
The ugly dogfight W?
Yeah.
I'll take comeback win. I mean, we experienced that a couple of Thursdays ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
14-7. Next thing I know, it's 21-14. We got to come back. And we, you know, 45 seconds, came back and won it. So definitely comeback win. I mean, those dog fights are good. You feel almost exhausted after the game, you know, but you're, you know, the high, you know, you're just, you're elevated, especially, when you're coming back, because again, there's video clips of that. You saw it, people just running on the field. Who does that on a flag game, on a meaningless game on a Thursday night? You see what I'm saying? A blowout, nobody wants to go through the line and shake hands. Everybody's got their head down. They just want to go to their car and get the hell off the field. But comeback win, definitely.
Okay. All right. How'd you become a barber?
Um,
Let me ask this more first though. Have you mastered either throwing the fade or cutting the fade?
both,
Both.
both. I'm 46, bro. If I haven't mastered any of those, what the fuck am I doing with my life? You know what I'm saying? Shit, the hell am I doing? Um, Both, honestly. I mean, I think anything you do in life, whether it's working gravel or working in for the government, you have to take a degree of you got to appreciate what you do, and have a passion for it. Um, you got to have pride in what you do, man. And I think whatever it is, have pride in what you do. I mean, I enjoy playing football because for me, it's the week leading up to the games. It's the training and the working out because I love to stay in shape. I've been working out since I was 16. Thankfully, I've been blessed. I haven't gone through a bunch of injuries, but I've come out of it and having that mindset that, hey, man, one foot in front of the other, just one foot in front of the other. We all come from different backgrounds and whatnot. Um, but the one thing we all have in common is that we have that one foot in front of the other. If we can continue that to move forward, no matter what it is you do, I think you'll be great at it if you just, have pride in it. So yeah, I'd say both, to be honest.
How'd you become a barber?
Well, I've always cut, and that's a crazy thing. True story. 6th grade, I gave myself the best fade. I bullshit you not. It's in the 6th grade. Because I used to cut my own hair, cut my brother's hair. Um, you know, Gave myself the best fade you could have. My dad was at home, a very conservative Muslim. I was bald on the sides. I walked in the house with a hat on, didn't want my dad to see it. He told me, take the hat off when you walk in my house. I took it off. He saw my head, fade was bald. He said, come in the living room. He saw that I had nice little fade on, little hair up top. He sent me to the bathroom. He cut my whole hair off. He left a mustache on the front right here. Yeah. So the next day I went with the worst haircut. But it really it started back when I was in like elementary school and I started cutting because we didn't have a lot of money. That was the thing. We were poor on welfare. So as refugees, you kind of limited. My dad worked a little bit, but he didn't make a lot, so he couldn't afford to cut our hair. So I ended up getting some clippers and just start cutting kids in the neighborhood. Just became really good at it. I mean, self-taught really, and from then I ended up just cutting friends and family. Back in 2010, if you remember, how the economy was changing 2008, 2009. I was in a car business, I was working as a dealership, doing very well, but it changed. And then I had saved enough money. I was going to just shoot out to California. That was going to be it. I was going to be out west. And in 2010, my nephew had come in that week and I faded him up and he went to his barber to take one of his boys, and his barber said, hey man, that's a really good cut. My uncle did it. Next thing I know, I'm in there talking to him, and then I got a job. I was like, maybe I could do this, a little bit, and it was great because my personality matched that. Because I'm, if you know me personally, like you do, I like to educate, I like to talk, I like to help. What ended up happening is that it was a great calling for me because if guys know, your barber becomes some of your not almost becomes your best friend in a way because you go to him with all your problems. You come out with a clean cut. You feel better about your problems because he gives you solid advice. So in 2010, I walked in. I haven't looked back, man. I just built my portfolio that way. Built my clients up that way, and most of my clients are still with me, and that's crazy. The majority of my clients are still with me, but we have a good relationship as friends and family. And I've been to their weddings, kids' birthdays, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, man, it's a great experience, and also we're recession proof, man. So
Yeah.
during COVID, I was doing great. you know?
Something you miss about the barbershop and something you didn't expect that you cherish about your setup now.
Something oh man, honestly, because I have a private studio, I miss the banter. Oh my God, man. Like I miss that. Cause I think I'm somewhat intelligent. So when it gets to politics and religion and all that, I love that. Most people avoid it,
Hmm.
but I love that. I think you have to challenge people where they need to be challenged. I think where you're comfortable, you don't grow. You know, it's where you're not comfortable growth really occurs. So I miss the banter, man. Just the shit talking in the barbershop. Watching sports and especially this right now with Shador Sanders, all the stuff people are saying. Oh man, that'd be great because I have my opinion on it too. That's what I miss, the banter, man. Here, I'm just this. I'm just a guy on the violin by myself. That's
So
it.
what's something you didn't expect to cherish that you do cherish about your setup now?
Um, right there. See her?
For the
I
cat.
get to spend all my time with them. They come in and they hang out with me pretty much all day. I mean, they're with me all day. Onyx, they're with me all day. So that's something that's just been a blessing, honestly. I mean, I'm very very fortunate. I never take that for granted.
That's dope. Back to the field. If you had to choose one position to play for the entire season besides quarterback, what would that be and why?
On the field,
Yeah.
mm,
Why'd
it's
you?
gonna
I mean,
evolve coaching.
that's your
Coaching
first answer.
is just trying to. What about coaching? Is coaching included
I
in
mean,
that?
I mean that's if you can't QB, you gonna coach.
Yeah, I'm a control freak, bro.
Okay.
It's hard to control things when you're not a quarterback. You know, um,
How have you how have you harnessed the ability to control that, being a control freak? Like I'm pretty sure that gets in the way sometimes, right?
yeah, it does definitely because everyone's personalities are different, and everyone thinks their own, everyone thinks of their own way of doing things, but um, it's just it's a challenge, because I see things a certain way. I almost have like farsight. I can see like something happening before it happens. So you know, like being in control as a quarterback just allows me to harness everything else. The problem is sometimes that can be, a detriment to myself because it can rub people the wrong way. You know, I mean, of course you've heard it. You heard people talk, but there's only one coach and some dozen players on the field. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's just that if I could not play anywhere else, I mean, safety, but again, you don't really control anything. I mean, I like to call the defense if I am at safety, but I don't have the foot speed that I used to. So I'd prefer to be a coach, which was kind of like what I did in States, kind of just sat back, had an excellent quarterback, excellent O line, excellent D line, great guys in the secondary. They kind of did their own thing. They asked me for input. I gave them input, and we just kind of went that way. And it was great. Yeah. It'd be coaching, though, if I couldn't do anything
Okay.
besides quarterback.
Played your role to a ring. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yep. Yep.
Favorite cleats and jersey. You have them? You know them? You wear cleats. You
Um,
don't wear cleats, though, correct?
yeah, I wear cleats. I started wearing cleats. I
Okay, you without the
realized
cleats.
my braking is so much better with cleats. It's just like Formula One.
But for a second, you weren't on cleats, right? What were you wearing?
I was wearing just uh I guess hiking shoes. I mean, because they got the mold on the bottom
Yeah.
and you're playing on turf and it's much more comfortable. But once I started getting into cleats, the reason I didn't wear a lot of cleats before is because I was always afraid of getting another injury with my knee or my Achilles. So that was always in the back of my mind. But I really don't have a favorite pair of cleats to be honest, man. Nike definitely. I like Under Armour, but definitely Nike. The ones that I have right now are my favorite. Cause I had to keep fucking my toes up. My big toe just is always black and blue at the end of the night. But I really like those. What was the other question? You said cleats and what?
Jersey.
Jersey. Well, I haven't got it yet, but the Afghan national team is sending it to me, so I should be getting it either today or Monday. I'm getting the Afghan national team jersey, which will be I'll be wearing pretty shortly. It's got a giant lion on the front. That's my favorite jersey. I haven't got it yet, but I have quite a few. I like my new all smoke jersey. Looks really nice. They
Okay.
did really nice with the all smoke white. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
the Afghan joint. You linked with them at work down Worlds or what was
yeah.
that?
Worlds, man. I was so I found out my boy Nick, who plays co-ed with me on Tuesday nights. He informed me that they were going to be out there. So it's man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had tears in my eyes when I watched my boys play because you get to see your own people. And these guys were they were younger from the Bay Area, from California, just balling. Incredibly talented players that won a bunch of championships and whatnot. But just to watch them, you know, play a sport that I love and, do it, at that stage was just amazing. And I mean, they were really, really good.
Okay,
Um, yeah.
okay. All right, 4 for 10. Um, what let's see, need a first down. You just got sacked, so you're actually on the 30. You need 2 sticks. So you need to get to the second for it. That makes sense? You need 30 yards basically. What are you lining up in? Is it spread? Is it a traditional with 3 linemen? We're doing 8s. What's your number? What's your bailout route? And what's your first route?
Well,
Or do you have a
um,
bailout route? We talk
if
about
I
that a
can
lot.
get the time, of course, I'm anticipating pressure. 'Cause you'd be stupid if you don't want to pressure that. Um, call 2 plays in the huddle, really. If they bring the heat, we're going to double pass it. That's where ego's got to come out as a quarterback. Get it to someone. Hopefully, they make the decision and getting the ball downfield. Um, but I probably on the right side on the slot, I probably run a deep corner with a post underneath it. From the receiver on the right. Um, Another post probably on the other side. About maybe 12 to 15 yards, 10 yards on the right, left side receiver, 12 to 15. And then slot receiver, probably have him on a seam and just glance at the slot and see which one of those posts show up because that's generally where I would like to go with the ball.
Okay.
I'm anticipating everyone dropping and try to hit one of those posts. So when you catch it, it should be a couple of steps before the first down. So that's probably what I'm going with.
Okay.
But if they pressure, I call it an alert, check it to one of the guys quick, one of the slot receivers, and have them double pass it. And just guys, get open. Hopefully, that was, on the double pass, he decides not to be a hero and run for 40 yards and actually throw it.
I'm here. I'm here. Who are the receivers? Who you got where?
If I had to pick them, any of them?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah, Jay. I like to have Jay, Pat, Shaq, Daryl.
So who's running what though?
Huh?
Who's running what?
I like Jay on the post. I like Pat in the slot left on the seam,
Okay.
right? Um, I like Daryl on the corner.
Mhm.
He's also can do the double pass. Shaq on the backside post on the left side. Yeah. So it's bang, 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 bang. I'm telling you, man, if you see it on Madden, that shit opens up. That shit opens up, bro. As long as you can deliver the ball on time, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, anticipating pressure. So if they bring in the heat, I'll check it down to Daryl. Daryl knows, he knows what to do. He's got strong enough arm to get the ball down there. Yeah.
Bonus question. Who's a consistent thorn on your side that's a rusher?
Damn, I haven't seen him around in a while. Scott.
Cop
Big
Scott?
Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen
He's
him all that.
the thing with him is that he's just so experienced. He probably doesn't have the same speed, but he's so smart. That's almost it's hard to block him in a lot of ways because he just knows how to get in. He's so tall and lanky that when he gets past the line of scrimmage, it's like what are those little balloons that, at the car show, at the dealerships that do. That's what he's like. I think he's probably the worst guy to face especially if you don't have a good offensive line. You know, I always encourage my guys when you see him, hit him in the ribs, man. Like sometimes I feel like offensive linemen are too, they're not as aggressive. If a guy wants to come up, pop him in his ribs. It's football. What's he gonna do? Get upset? I think get the fuck off the field. You know, this is contact at the line. They allow that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hurt you. I'll get you a beer afterwards, but I want you to know that you ain't gonna come in here, free willy. No.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that's 4 for 10, man. I appreciate this, dog. I enjoyed this. Finally
Thank
got
you,
to
brother.
talk.
Appreciate you. Finally, man, I made it. I'm on TV now. Oh my God.
Yeah, once again, for the great minds of nine, talking about recaps, talking about tournaments, talking about states, talking about world. You only went to Tampa, right?
Yeah, man, it was pretty awesome. It was a great experience. Just seeing a lot of football, a lot of different, class of football. Yeah, it was great, man. My highlight was seeing my own people play, man. It was the national team of Afghanistan playing, so that was pretty awesome, man.
Oh, okay.
Got a chance to meet those guys and, kind of chop it up. They're all from the Bay Area, Niner fans. Felt like I was at home for real.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. How'd they do? How far did they get, you know?
What was that?
How far did they get, you know?
Man, they got all the way to they were playing international. They lost to France. Subsequently, the French team, they're really good. I mean, really, really good. I heard that they get paid to come down here or something. I don't know, but they won the whole thing. They lost to France by a couple of touchdowns. Man, they were really good. I mean, the French team, they were just it was a different level of football out there, man.